Alright guys, I want to do a tutorial on following the free flow line, getting a mastery understanding of how to abstract draw dancing across the page with these free flow echoing lines. So we're going to do a quick little tutorial. The first thing that I want to do is talk about how we do it, and then we're going to go ahead and do a drawing filling the whole page with the same concept. Now, we've talked about in some of my past videos about how doing like a leaf where you start with a point and end with a point, and then you're kind of flowing around the leaf to make a to fill the shape, to create the bloom, the 3D pattern of the shape. The pinch close together and the spread apart creates the shape. Now what we're going to do is more of a fan shape where it goes out and open. And there's two key things of putting this together. One, where it pinches together is going to create a lot of tension. And then two, where you fold in an opposite direction creates a lot of understanding of the space. So we are going to work on creating a fan where it fans out. And then when it gets to like it just feels full, it feels complete, feels like you're going to make it look too monotonous, keep it going, we're going to add in same point, swooping in another direction. And that creates your fold. And then you can choose to cross over it and make it flow the other direction, or you can choose to just keep building with it. Every time I do this, I'm creating a tension point, so it's going to make a nice dark spot right there. And I'm folding, and see how I accidentally pinched in, so now I'm building on that, and that creates a fold. Now, the key with this form of drawing is your dark spaces versus your light spaces. Those lines create a lot of tension when they're all going the same direction. And so when you add another line going another direction, you can create these beautiful blank spots. And we're going to really capitalize on that. We're really going to try and fill in and create these heavy, heavy surprise spots. So see how these all kind of end there? And I'm like, why do they end there? Let's go ahead and go in opposite direction to make it fan out. So that's the basic idea. And then see, I can go in opposite direction of that and create another lovely little blank space. And then I would fill that in. I keep grabbing my marker, but I'm using a pencil right now. Now typically I like to work in about a 6 by 6 inch drawing. If you were to do a traditional Zentangle, I think you would do a 3 by 3. It's usually a square. This is not really traditional Zentangle. This is more just a free-form flow drawing. And sometimes a bigger page is nice so you don't feel locked in. And sometimes just sticking with what you're comfortable with would make a lot of sense too. So this is the basic idea. We're just doing fans, and then we're going in we're either pinching in another direction to that fan, or we're going in the opposite direction to fold over the fan. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a full drawing, and you can see how it all fits together because these are very rough drawings of the example. Thanks for watching. And if you like my final drawing, you can follow the link down below to my website and get a copy for yourself and color it in how you like. I would love to see what you do. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with a squiggly line on the page, and then I added a second line just to give it a little bit more interest on the page. And now I'm going to start adding curves and flows. So you want all of these lines to be kind of longer and grouped together. They work better when there are 5 to 10 lines all matching the same curve. They start at a pinch, they can end at a pinch, or they can end in a flare, and you can fold one on top of the other. And this is a free flow dance. It doesn't have a plan other than the squiggly line that we started with. And we are looking to create lighter areas and darker areas based on how close our lines are together or further apart. And then when you see a gap, you fill in the gap with a solid black space, but we're going to try and fill most of the page. You can usually stop about halfway and it creates a really nice smoky effect, and then you can fill in the background a solid color, which makes it all tie together very nicely. But we're going to push this to its limit and fill the entire page. So you can see that I'm drawing 5 to 10 lines going one direction, and then I find another direction to add some curves and add some lines. And it is a little random. It's just a gut feeling. I'm working on the entire page as a whole. I don't want to start in one corner and only build in that corner and build out, because you'll find that your theories, your style changes as you're drawing, and you want those theories and styles to be incorporated on the entire page. So you'll notice my hand works in all areas of the page throughout the entire drawing. That also helps me weave the ribbons on top of each other equally throughout the page. If I started on one corner and worked my way up, that would mean that the first thing you drew was forever on top, and then everything you drew after ends up further back, further back, further back, and we don't want that. We want it to be equally balanced all through the page as a tangle, like a bowl of spaghetti, with equal precedence. And then we also want to make sure that the edges of the page have an equal weight to them as the rest of the picture. It's real easy to focus on the center of the picture and leave the edges blank, but we're gonna try and focus on how this is anchored on the page as well. So this is a very calm, focused drawing. It takes about 30 minutes. It doesn't require a plan. It doesn't require a lot of thought during it, but you do have to stay intentional with your lines. You can't be sloppy, and it works best when you are intentional with your spacing. A lot of drawings are much more loose and free-flowing. This one, you have to be very aware how each line makes a difference, and if you don't like your line, your best choice is to fill it in with a solid black ink. So now we're getting close to 3/4 of the way done. This would be a great place to stop, but we're going to keep going. And once we're done, we're going to fill in all of our blank spaces as solid black, and then we're going to add in some shading as well. So now I'm adding in more lines that are intentionally closer together. That way I have a variety of spacings. Everything else I did before was either very loosely spread apart or very uniformly distanced apart, and now I'm intentionally making lines that are creating a little bit more tension on the page. That way it doesn't get too predictable and equal everywhere on the page. Now, when doing these lines that are equally spaced out, going the same direction, sometimes it's best to turn your page so that your hand can flow how it is most comfortable. Remember, your paper is not nailed down. You can rotate it so that you can make the best mark. Because we are echoing one line on another line, turning your page doesn't affect what you're viewing and can really help you make your lines as smooth and accurate as possible. So now I'm going to start filling in some of these blank spaces, and I like to use a calligraphy pen to fill in anything that's larger, but then I actually go back in with my thinner tipped pen to get real close to the edge. That way it's accurate, because if my brushed pen flops over into the space of the drawing, just the smallest little nicks into my space can really make a difference in how the line flows. So I fill it in roughly with the calligraphy, and then I come back with my precision pen. Alright guys, we're getting close to the end. This is my final drawing. If you like it, remember there's a link down below that you can go to my website and download it for the price of a cup of tea if you are itching to add color to the drawing. I would love to see what you do. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.